Back with our politics lead and a total challenge to the system. That's how one Trump ally described to CNN the president-elect's cabinet and staff picks. And with me now, Maggie Haberman of the New York Times. We have wrested her phone away from her because she is constantly breaking stories. So thank you for giving us this 4 minutes in between you breaking stories. Yesterday, Matt Gaetz. Today, RFK Jr. What is the mindset here? Is it, I can do whatever I want, or is he trying to dare Republican senators to go against him in some ways?
I mean, I think the answer is yes. It's all of the above, right? In the case of RFK, I think there is a, promises made, promises kept aspect. You actually saw Trump's son say that on X, formerly Twitter. I think that's true. I mean, I think there was an issue with RFK in 2017 when Trump had first been elected and was or maybe late 2016, was talking to him during that transition about some kind of role in the administration, and other Trump aides were not happy with it and sort of shunted him aside. RFK Jr. endorsed Trump. It did give Trump a big boost in real time, and Trump's advisors really like him and want to show to their shared base that there was a commitment met. In terms of Gaetz, they couldn't reach an agreement on Attorney General, and Gaetz is sort of the perfect distillation of what Trump wants in that role, which is protector and fighter. So if you look at it, it's not really surprising. That doesn't mean it's not controversial, and it doesn't mean that it's easily going to get through the Senate, but it's not totally surprising.
So, I mean, I could certainly understand why President-elect Trump thinks he has a mandate. I can certainly understand why he thinks, look, I'm here to get rid of inflation. Right. I'm here to impose tariffs. Right. I promise that. I'm here to secure the border. I'm here to do things about crime, et cetera, all the list of things. I don't think that part of the mandate, and this is just my interpretation, but in terms of the people, not his base, but the people who voted for him, who swung the election his way, I don't think they're there to get rid of childhood vaccines.
I don't think that the vast majority of Republicans who helped vote for him are there to get rid of childhood vaccines, and I think we're going to see what ends up happening with that and where it actually goes. But you are correct that not every single thing that is part of this coalition is something that everyone voted for. I think you just ticked off the items that most people thought that they were voting for. We will see what RFK ends up doing with this. Are there aspects of what RFK talks about that actually are fairly popular with a segment of the electorate? I'm not talking about the vaccines, although Trump, just remember,
he's also a vaccine denier.
In 2016, correct. But except on everything except for the COVID vaccine, which he's very proud of. But he is certainly...
RFK Jr. is not proud of the COVID vaccine.
I suspect that he will not contradict the sitting president on that. But there are issues that RFK talks about in terms of healthy eating and lifestyle and chemicals and foods that
nobody has any issues with any of that.
Of course, but you're asking me a question about what it is that people thought they were voting for. People are very good at rationalizing whatever they want to about why they vote. And so do I think that most people either believed that they will really go ahead with trying to crack down on vaccines for children? Probably not. We're going to find out what this looks like.
Do you think that there are more shocking appointments ahead?
Yes.
Can you give us?
No, I mean, the most useless game that I have had to be reminded of repeatedly is
who might he pick, right?
Who might he pick? Because he will change his mind.
Yeah.
Someone will undo a staff pick or a cabinet pick and so forth and so on. It's just not. It's things are too fluid with him. But I do think that they are looking to essentially shock and overwhelm the system so that they can maximize what the system will tolerate.
Right, and it is loyal, not just loyal. People who display fealty, MAGA warriors. That seems to be the constant theme. They are MAGA warriors. They are in your face.
Correct.
These are not uniting people. These are not uniting picks. These are in your face to the medical community, to the intelligence community, to the military community.
That's what he wants. Yes.
That's what he wants.
Yes, and on that, Jake, I think he was quite clear what he was planning to do in office. There's this whole sort of, as you know, we've been talking about since 2015 or 2016, literally seriously thing with him.
Oh, that whole thing, yeah.
Right, you should sort of assume he plans on doing what he's saying
he means
to do at this point. And so, yes, that is what these picks are designed to do. Whether they all get through, we'll see. Does he end up doing recess appointments? We'll see. I think that Matt Gaetz is going to be a bridge too far for some Republican senators, but we'll find out.
We'll see on that one. I might have to take a wager with you.
I'm not betting. No, but I'm just saying that is the one that could be too far. It also could not be. It also could be. I mean, Trump has much more control over this Republican Senate.
Oh yeah.
Than the one that he left.
When in doubt, bet on fealty. That's
or bet on him grinding down his opposition at least to a lower posture.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are you hearing from your sources about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Being picked to be head of the Department of Health and Human Services.
Look, it's another example of you better take Donald Trump at his word.
Yeah, he's been saying this. It's not
is
a surprise in terms of he
correct.
likes Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Correct. And Senator John Thune, the new majority leader, has his hands full. He does not want to look at his phone again today. I mean, it was Matt Gaetz yesterday and now this. I think it's important, though, to now see how the Republicans in the Senate handled this. They cannot claim to have buyer's remorse. They were all in on this. One Republican source said to me, I'm not sure they will be able to reject all of them, meaning you have all of these controversial picks. It's not just one. And another senior Republican said to me, no one should be surprised. This is Donald Trump 2.0. It's a new kind of chaos, but Trump feels emboldened. He simply doesn't care about the rest of the party. It's all about him, and we're expected to be loyal. It's a one-way street.
Yeah, just to remind people, the head of the Department of Health and Human Services in the first term was a respected Republican member of the House, Dr. Tom Price, who was a physician.
Right.
Former Congressman Dent, I want to play something that RFK Jr., he was asked about his expertise. He is obviously, Kennedy, not a scientist. He is not a doctor. He does not have any degrees in this stuff. So Smirkanish, who has a show on CNN on Saturdays, asked him, well, what's your expertise? Take a listen.
Because I've spent a lot of time studying and writing books,
Right.
and litigating these issues, I have a very detailed domain knowledge of these areas that make it very, very difficult to defend orthodoxies because I know the area so well. So yeah, it is almost, particularly on vaccines, it's almost impossible for anybody to interview me.
So he wrote a story for Salon.com and Rolling Stone magazine about vaccines back in 2003, 2004. Rolling Stone and Salon had to retract it. It's been disappeared from the Rolling Stone website because it was so false. Just because somebody writes something down doesn't make it true.
Well, it just seems like there's a war on expertise and science or experience. I mean, it's not just RFK Jr. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, the science of vaccines, I thought, was settled a long, long time ago, and we're having this debate. But, look at Matt Gaetz. What qualifies him to be head of the Justice Department?
At least he's a lawyer.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying every day the standards get a little lower.
Hegseth at defense, again, a good service, but this is no Richard Perry or Bob Gates or Jim Mattis. We expect people, with a lot of gravitas. And, Tulsi Gabbard, I'm a friend of Tulsi Gabbard's. But, there are going to be red flags about her relationships with Syria and Russia. And so it just seems like Trump is being awfully defiant. He doesn't care about expertise, or in this case, medical science. And so that's what's so troubling about this. And I suspect there are going to be a lot of pushback. And some of these nominations are going to have to be withdrawn.
I think in addition to the question of expertise, there's also the question of capability of running a larger organization.
There's
the Pentagon, HHS, the Justice Department. These are large, sprawling organizations.
18 intelligence agencies.
Arguably too large and too sprawling.
Sure.
But these are people who have not had experience in running these sorts of large organizations, and you do have to wonder whether they can do that. And you also have to wonder about the Senate and their own self-qualifications, because if you are not exercising your constitutional duty to provide advice and consent here, what is the point of your being in office?